Christian Mackles also did a good job yesterday, making his first appearance in the championship on the Kawasaki for WeBike Trickstar. So good to see him out there on that Kawasaki. Really, when I look at the results from yesterday, he was literally only 15 seconds off the lead. So if he can just find a little bit, he'll make his way further up through the field. But as we say, conditions are completely changed to yesterday. Most of the guys, or in fact all of the starters in this race, will be on wet weather Dunlop tyres.
Yeah, indeed. I brought yesterday's tyre selections up to compare, but of course then the rain came down, so everybody's going to be on wets. One interesting thing about the race yesterday, and it left a question for me, so I went to ask the rider, was about Ratapong Wilrot, who had a superb qualifying. He put himself second in the middle of the front row, and I said, what happened? And he said it was really, he wasn't confident in the new rear tyre that he started with.
Okay, so yes, Dunlop did bring a new compound here, untried by everyone. Most people went with the medium hard,
yeah.
And I guess that he must have chosen that medium tyre, and perhaps it didn't work out for him. But I'll tell you what, everyone will be on the same compound tyre out there now. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Ducatis can do in this in these conditions. But let's go down to Wei Ling. She's on the grid. She's going to speak to some of our riders and tell us what they're thinking.
Back down here on the grid. This time the rain has finally stopped, but we're not going to talk to CK about the weather, too much talk about the weather. So CK, we know that you got injured in Thailand during qualifying. Can you share with us an update on your left wrist?
ก็สนามนี้ก็เพิ่งมาขี่ครั้งแรกก็มาพร้อมกับอาการบาดเจ็บก็วันนี้ก็ฝนตกด้วยก็จะทำผลงานออกมาดีที่สุดครับ
His injury is now recovering very good, but he's quite worried about the weather today because it's just rain and the track is all wet. So yes.
So after this, how long more do you need to be fully 100% with your left wrist?
ก็น่าจะทันที่สนามที่จีนนะครับผมว่าน่าจะ 100%
Hopefully it will be fully recovery before the next round at China.
All right, thank you so much, CK. Good luck to all of you. And starting alongside CK is TJ Alberto. So Troy, of course, TJ, of course, just now we spoke a little about the weather conditions at the paddock. Now it's finally stopped. So how are you looking forward to the race?
I think it'll be an interesting race. We're not so sure about our setup. It's one of the first few times that we're setting this bike up for the wet, so we're just playing it safe. We'll see what we can do. So we're gonna try our best.
All right, so how has it been so far racing here at Suzuka Circuit this weekend?
This track is a legendary track, very beautiful, but also very difficult. So we're really, we feel quite good today in the warm-up, but unfortunately we have a wet condition, so changes completely the game. So we'll see.
All right, thank you so much, Timothy. Good luck for race 2. And starting alongside TJ will be his fellow teammate as well, also from Ducati Philippines. We have Jonathan Sharpika. So Jonathan, share with us, how has the entire week been, going from dry conditions all the way to wet conditions and now for race 2?
But it was good to start with the dry, to familiarize with the track. Then actually usually I like wet, but yesterday I had a big rush, so I have to take it easy a little bit. But I like the track, I like the conditions.
All right, thank you so much, Jonathan. Good luck for race 2. So I'm going to send it back to Steve and Barry in the studio.
Well, there you have it. We heard from the Ducatis, and I don't know what you make of that, but as we've seen today, all along, anything can happen.
Yeah, you were just about to say before we cut to Wei Ling that you wanted to see how the Ducatis did, and I think that was an interesting interview with TJ Alberto. I think he's quietly confident that he can perhaps get his best result of the season. He certainly looks capable of being a regular top 10 finisher. So let's see what pans out here. But a lot of unanswered questions here. Another one would be how will Brian Starring do, the stand-in rider. Let's just cut here to another rider that I think can do well today. That's Ahmad Yudhistira on the Victor Racing team Yamaha R1. He's got a little bit of a disadvantage to the factory Yamahas, but that won't matter so much today. And there is Brian Starring shaking hands with his team. Ever the gentleman, the Australian Superbike Championship leader currently. This is his first trip to Suzuka, and now he's got the wet conditions.
Yeah,
he did well to finish 5th yesterday.
Yeah, he certainly did. He's been a very busy boy doing double duties with the Australian Championship as well. Back to Queensland for him next week. But this man, Yuki Ito, boy, how tough is he with that ripped up finger, broken bones in his ankle. Tough weekend for him in what I think could have been a breakthrough weekend for him. He could have got victory here if he was healthy, but he had that big crash on Friday.
Yeah, so as we were saying, he'll be there for the points. And here's yesterday's best wildcard finisher, Bastian Mackels, the Belgian rider.
Of course, he's on the Trickstar Victor Racing Kawasaki. Very impressive performance from him last time out. And as was this man too, the number 52 for the Teramoto team, Koji Teramoto, racing for his own team on the BMW. Great result. I was pretty impressed with the sort of things that he was managed to do out on track. Katsuma Tsuda, he's racing for the Victor Racing team. Also, he's a regular in the championship now. Has always been improving there or thereabouts, and definitely not just out there making the numbers up. Who knows at Japan what he could do on his R1.
Yeah, absolutely. He's looked pretty good this weekend. Certainly his best form of the season as the 1 minute and the engine start signs get held up. Those ladies were wearing raincoats earlier, so it's good to see that they've been discarded.
Zakwan Zaidi starts from pole position. We know how good he is in the wet. Will he be able to pull it off again here? Perhaps. He knows this track well. He's done many an 8 hour around here.
Yeah, he's got a good chance, but Brock Parks will have other plans, as will many of the other guys on those front couple of rows. Aslan Shah will certainly have other plans. He knows how to get around this track in all conditions.
And what about Rathapong Willarot? Brilliant qualifying, his best qualifying of the year in 2nd position on the Thailand racing team Yamaha. That's got to bode well with his confidence. Let's hope that he just gels well with these wet weather. Of course, we think that he chose the wrong tyre yesterday. No mistake of that this time round, because everybody out on track will be on Dunlop's wet weather tyres. You can still see as they head off on the warm-up track how much spray is out there, Barry.
Yeah, no question. It's still a wet race, and it still will be in 25 minutes or so by the time it finishes. There's a few rivers across the track, but they're not really causing any problems. Here's the grid.
Zakwan Zaidi starts from pole position, and a brilliant lap that was. Rathapong Willarot in 2nd, that was great too. Apiwath Wongthananon in 3rd for the Thailand Yamaha racing team. What a great front row for them that was. Brock Parks from 4th. It's Aslan Shah in 5th position. Shinji Nakatomi, who developed these Dunlop tyres, making a wild card entry here in Japan. Ahmad Yudhistira had a crash yesterday. He won't do that again today. Brian Starring, good ride from him yesterday. Yuki Ito in pain from 9th, but that's never going to put him down or stop him. 10th, of course, is Bastian Mackels from Belgium. Koji Teramoto and Katsuda Tsuda, both racing here in their home country. Japan, of course, they want to do the best job they can, and we've seen how these wildcards perform in these wet weather conditions. Never count them out. Chai Witchett, we heard from him on the grid, still injured for that Kawasaki Thailand racing team. TJ Alberto, who knows what the Ducati can do? It could be pretty special in these conditions. We will know very shortly. Ali Adderton Putro on the BMW 1000 for the 1XOX team in 12th. 15th, sorry, and 16th is Jonathan Serapika. Big crash for him yesterday too, but let's hope that these conditions suit the Swissman.
Yeah. Yeah, we could... okay, Ali...
yeah, and we just see them...
Adrian's not starting.
Yeah, okay, we just see them coming around now as they get ready to get this race underway. 12 laps around the Suzuka circuit in these conditions, going to be very mind draining. And I'll tell you, if it doesn't rain, it looks quite wet at the moment, but towards the end of this race, we're going to see some dry lines.
It's going to be really interesting, and I think the Japanese wildcards in this class are going to make their presence felt further up the field today than they were able to do yesterday.
You can even see there's not that much spray coming off those wet weather tyres. I think that was Jonathan Serapika we just got a glimpse of. There's the pole man, number 21. How pumped is he?
Yeah, he's pumping.
Last time we had conditions like this in Sepang, he won that race.
Yep, and he knows Suzuka, so that bodes well for him, starting from pole position. Brock Parks, let's remember, the problems he had yesterday, that big crash in qualifying, wrecked his bike. They just put it back together again before pit lane opened for the sighting lap. He had those gear change problems, but still came through to win, and he'll be looking for another one today.
Keep an eye on Zachman Zaidi off of pole position. He was fast off the mark yesterday, led into turn 1. Brock Parks was there too. That Kawasaki of Brian Starring is always a rocket off the line. The green flag is out. We're nearly in the starters' hands. Getting ready for race 2 of the ASB1000s here in Suzuka, Japan. The red light is on. And they are away. And it is Zachman Zaidi once again with a brilliant start down the left-hand side of the circuit, and he tips in over the little river, manages to keep it intact. Looks like that could be Brock Parks perhaps in behind him as they head through turn 2. It is Zachman Zaidi who leads the way, and it is actually the number 56.
It's Ratapong in second position.
Good job by Ratapong Willarot. He was further back than this already off the start line last time, so it's looking like he's carrying a little bit of confidence into this race.
Yeah, another Yamaha there in third position. I can't quite make out which one that is, whether that is Brock Parks.
It is Brock Parks. I'm pretty sure I can just tell by his body language. Brock knows this place like the back of his hand in the wet and the dry, so keep an eye on him. It won't be long. He will not want to let the number 21 get away. And there he is, the number 23, Brock Parks from Australia now, right on the coattails of the man in front of him, Ratapong Willarot.
Yeah, and there's a wild card there in fourth position.
Well, we know how good the wild cards are. Apiwath Wong Thananon is up there as well. And Aslan Shah, where's Aslan Shah? Because he, in these conditions, should be somewhere near the front.
Expecting to go well, yeah. We just need a slightly wider shot.
He's, yeah, it looks like he's about 5th or 6th at the moment. I reckon that Aslan Shah, there he is, he's back quite a bit. So Aslan Shah with a little bit of work to do here. But it is Zachman Zaidi who's looking pretty comfortable out front. But look at that, it's Ratapong Willarot straight into the lead. And who would have thought it? Hasn't taken him long. Remember, last year's Supersport champion leads this one. And there goes the wild card.
Yeah, is that Shunichi Nakatomi?
It is Shunichi Nakatomi from World Superbike fame. Dunlop tyre tester, I'm sure he knows everything there is to know about these wet weather tyres, but the number 85 is making an impact in this race. Still races in the JSB Championships. It's good to see him in the paddock and up near the front.
Yeah, really strong rider, looks on really good form.
But meanwhile, it's Ratapong Willarot out front, the tyre.
Yeah, he's jumped ahead a little bit there as they start lap 2 of 11.
Nakatomi's looking for a way through now, and can't blast past the Honda, but he's broke pretty late into turn 1, manages to hold it together. Good move there by the man on the Yamaha.
Yeah, he's got confidence in those wet Dunlops, obviously.
Yeah, they're exactly how he likes them. Nakatomi in second position at the moment with Ratapong Willarot from Yamaha Thailand Racing Team out front.
Brock Parks in fourth position at the moment, but he won't be too worried about that as long as he stays in touch, which he is.
Well, I think Brock's main objective in these conditions will be to stay ahead of Aslan Shah, and Aslan Shah is down in 8th position at the moment. Looks like he's struggling somewhat.
Yeah, but here he comes around the outside of looking at the...
Well, it's Yuki Ito.
Yeah. So Yuki
Ito.
Ito, he was there out to score a few points, and there he is up close to the front in 3rd position currently.
Well, these wet weather conditions have got to help Yuki Ito's physical condition out, because obviously when it's wet, you use less physicality. It's more about mental power than physical power. With that broken ankle and the finger injury that he's got, it'll be under less stress out there. So Yuki Ito could be in for a good race this time out.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Still 10 laps to go, a long way to go in this ASB1000 race. Remember, it was a year ago here that this class was launched, and Rod and Hogg told the world that we would be watching 1000 cc's in the Asia Road Racing Championship. Thank you very much, because this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, the class has really taken off this year. It's amazing to think that this is only the 4th round of having the ASB1000s after 20 years, maybe 19 years or 18 years of 600s being the premier class.
Well, I'll be happy if we have another 20 years of this.
Absolutely.
20 years of racing like this will just about see me out and make me a very happy man, I think.
Yeah, and Nakatomi looking pretty good there in that 2nd position.
Yeah, Nakatomi's very good on the brakes into the chicane. You can just see there he had a sneaky look over his shoulder. He knows all the places at this Suzuka circuit to see what is happening, and he could see that he had the lead there. Good drive onto the start, finish straight, but it is Rathapong Willarot who still leads the way. But Nakatomi, we saw how good he was on the brakes last time. He's hard on the brakes, but Rathapong, look at that. Great drive into turn 1 there.
Yeah, and Yuki Ito, who can't even walk, currently is ahead of his teammate Brock Parks.
Well, it's certainly starting to dry up a lot now, because you can just see there's hardly any spray coming off the tyres through into turn 2. Won't be too long and I reckon we'll be seeing a dry line, and that could start to affect these tyres.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised to see Zakwan Zaidi going backwards there in 5th position, a long way off the leaders now.
Yeah, it is a little bit strange, but how impressive is the man on the number 56? But it is Nakatomi who goes up the inside, takes that tight line and makes his way through and leads this race.
Yeah, he will have been thinking to himself, wet race at Suzuka? Thank you, I'll see what I can do.
Well, he's had plenty of competition in his time. He's had to race some of the greats. So Shinji Nakatomi is giving it everything he's got out there at the moment. He's not in this to make up the numbers, that is for sure. He's an absolute legend of a rider. Raced in the World Superbike Championship. He knows what racing is all about.
Yeah, and racing in the Japan Superbike Series is not for the faint-hearted either.
It is Nakatomi now, who leads onto that back straight, and he's already got a pretty decent lead there, hasn't he?
Yeah, and Yuki Ito having a little look at Rathapong now, and a bit more than a little look.
Yep, Ito up the inside. Rathapong gets on the gas early. Will he try and strike back? No, he can't do it. Poor old Rathapong is getting chewed up, and he's still in a podium position. He hasn't had a podium in this 1000 class yet, but he's about to get eaten up, I feel, by Brock Parks back there in 4th position.
Yeah, he's been, it's the first season he's ever raced 1000s. He's been making some good progress. It's actually good to see him in this kind of position.
Oh, it is, yeah. This is, you know, like yesterday he chose the wrong tyre, but qualifying was brilliant for Rathapong.
Yeah, Kazuma Zuda is in 6th position. He's around 4 seconds off the front, and Apiwat Wongtananon is further adrift in 7th. Brian Starry in 8th. Aslan Shah in 9th.
Yeah,
and Yudhishthira, who I must admit I did fancy to be further up the field in these conditions, is 10th.
I tell you, Nakatomi is absolutely pushing that to the limit on the braking. He had that rear wheel sliding sideways into turn 1 there. And he had the rear sliding out of the final turn before the start finish as well. So Nakatomi, he wants this bad. But if anything, Yuki Ito's closing him down.
Yeah, this is impressive stuff from the 2 men at the front.
Well, you've got to think that Yuki Ito wants to be the first Japanese rider to win one of these ASB championships, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He does. He's a very proud, patriotic Japanese.
Well, he's won in the 600 class, and he is doing everything he can, Yuki Ito, to close down on his compatriot out front, and he has now got onto the back wheel of the number 85, Shinji Nakatomi.
Yeah. Well, you'd always fancy him. It's only a matter of time before Yuki Ito, injured or uninjured, makes it to the top step of the podium in this class.
Absolutely.
But you didn't expect him to do it with a broken ankle.
No, but that just goes to show you how tough he is. He's got that bike of his working beautifully out there at the moment. And for now, not even any sign of a slide from him. He's looking pretty good out there.
Yeah.
Nakatomi through the chicane. Quite a new chicane, that, probably about 7 or 8 years old now. They used to come around there without going through that chicane. It was quite fast back then, I can tell you, the track here at Suzuka.
Yeah, I've looked at the map, and when I went through the chicane in the safety car yesterday, I had a look at it and thought, this would be good if you could miss this one.
Well, yeah, they used to do it, but obviously, you know, as the bikes get faster, they need to slow things down. So that chicane was at it. Nakatomi now, you've got to think at the end of this straight, Yuki Ito's got a strike. He's out of the slipstream, but no, Nakatomi is fast.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that bike at all. We know he knows the tyres, but the bike's in pretty good shape.
Well, it is. I mean, it's definitely a good spec machine. He's, you know, testing for Dunlop tyres. He's a class Yamaha man as well. He's been with Yamaha for a long time. Tested many different things over his racing career, including suspension. I think it was KYB who used to run in the World Superbike. So he's a renowned tester. By the look of this, a racer too, and spectacular at that, if you see him sideways again.
Yeah, see Ratapong going through there.
Quite dry there.
Behind him, yeah.
Quite dry in turn 2, I mean, sorry. They head up into the S's now. Brock Park's not much he can do about it.
Yeah, Ratapong doing a good job to hold on there in 3rd position.
Well,
in these conditions and in this company, which is very experienced superbike company.
Absolutely. If I was Brock Parks right now, I think I would be happy to finish 4th. Let Yuki Ito take that 2nd position. Nakatomi can win it, and let Ratapong get his first podium. Because he's going to get a good bag full of points over his main contender in the championship, Aslan Shah. Because Aslan Shah...
Oh, and there he goes, Steve.
Yeah, good move. He was strong there. That's where he went past Brock Parks a couple of laps before.
Yeah, so let's see what happens now. This Japanese hero goes into the hairpin.
Nakatomi nice and tight on the exit there. It's one thing to be able to follow in these conditions, but to lead is another story. What can Yuki Ito do? Last time round, his lap time was a 2:26.0. Fastest lap of the race, 2:26.5, was Nakatomi.
Yeah, and he's got a couple of bike lengths here. Though, of course, this straight coming up after the spoon curve will sort out whether he can start to get away.
Yeah, that's a pretty fast lap time around here, 2:26 in the wet, I can tell you.
Yeah.
These guys are not hanging around at all. Roughly 2:10, 16 seconds slower than the dry time on wet weather tyres. Is pretty impressive stuff around this circuit.
Yeah, all those first 4 men, you can see, are ahead of everybody else. They're all doing 2:26s with Yuki Ito, as you said, Steve, on a 2:26 dead. The others on 26.4s.
Be interested to see what Yuki Ito does this time around. He's had pretty much clear track as he goes over the start-finish line. 2:25.0, he's dropped another second that time through. Still 6 laps to go. Let's hope he doesn't push too hard.
Yeah, everybody a little bit faster there. Nakatomi, 25.8, but that was 0.8 of a second. So that leaves Ito with almost a 0.4 second lead as they cross the line then. But Nakatomi's still got him in his sights.
Sakura and Saidi still back there in a lonely 5th position. A few seconds behind him is Katsuma Tsuda. So Sakura and Saidi having a very lonely race.
Yeah, we're not at half distance yet, so I wonder if Zakwan can come back later. I'm surprised, as I said, to see him in 5th position right now. But we've had a few surprises this weekend.
We certainly have a big slide there from the number 76. Yuki Ito gets that Yamaha R1 sideways out of Dunlop corner. Holds it all together though. As they head up into the hairpin.
Yeah, a little bit further back after P7, which is Happy Watt. Yudhistira's moved up to 8th position, Aslan's moved up to 9th, and they've done that at the expense of Brian Starring, who's currently 10th.
Yeah, it looks like Brian Starring having all sorts of problems back down there, dropping back down through the field. But it's definitely good for the Yamahas. Yamaha 1, 2, 3, 4 here.
Yeah.
With Honda in 5th at the moment. And it's Yuki Ito, Yamaha Racing Team ASEAN. This, if he does manage to win this, won't do the team championship any harm either. Of course, Yamaha Racing Team ASEAN leads that one at the moment.
Yep, they're leading that one thanks to the man at the front here, Yuki Ito, and of course championship leader Brock Parks.
Yeah, it looks like Brock is just dropping off the back a bit, but Ratapong Willarot looks like he is starting to close up, as is the man on 85, Nakatomi, takes a dive up the inside. Not quite, but he's right on the back wheel now of Yuki Ito.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a fight between these two Japanese riders. One regular in the ARRC and one making this sensational wildcard appearance.
Absolutely. Tucked in behind the screen. Both of those guys up front. Brock Parks is having a bit of a battle now. He's right on the back. He's caught up again.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. As they come into this turn.
Turn 2 just before the S's here. It's Nakatomi on the title line. Yuki Ito leads the way. 0.162. Well, not much in that.
Yeah, practically zero. So let's see.
Oh, bit of a slide there from Nakatomi. Managed to gather it up. It's going to be difficult to know where he's going to attack. These guys are pretty much on the limit at the moment.
Yeah, Ratapong still ahead of Brock Parks.
Bit more corner speed there. Look at him go. Yuki Ito's been overtaken by Nakatomi. Nakatomi up the inside. He likes that inside line, but Yuki Ito's strong into the next one. Watch Yuki. He can't strike back. Nakatomi closes the line down and takes the lead. 5 laps to go. He might have gone a little bit too early.
Let's see whether we're going to see another wildcard winner at this ARRC round 4 at Suzuka Circuit.
Well, we've had 1 so far this weekend. 2 wouldn't be out of the equation, and Nakatomi, what a nice guy to win if he does.
Yeah, these front 4 are bunching up a bit. We saw Brock Parks pressurising Ratapong. He absorbed it, but I think they've concertinaed up these first 4. They're all doing 225s at the moment, low 225s.
Well, it's Brock Parks who leads the championship at the moment, with Aslan Shah, his main contender, who's second in the championship, way back down in 9th. He's got some sort of troubles. He's not gelling well at the moment. Brock Parks in 4th is not making the most of this race, but I tell you what, he'll be looking at those points, and he'll be coming away from here from a smile if he finishes in that position.
Yeah, and
there is a shot.
Aslan.
Yeah, back down the field there. You can just see how it's starting to dry out there. Aslan Shah up the inside.
Yeah, it looked like he was just going past, I think that's Apiwat.
Yep. Which a little bit disappointing for Apiwat. Qualified on the front row of the grid, obviously not confident in these wet weather conditions.
He knows Suzuka, and I've seen him ride well in the wet, but anyway, that's where he is.
Oh, Aslan Shah's jumped up a spot anyway, so good to see Aslan Shah trying as hard as he can. Another rider in front of him too that he can get. That's more points to close that gap down. Remember, we've got not that many rounds left, 3 rounds left of the championship. We're going to Zhuhai in about a month's time, in the middle of August. We'll be at Zhuhai, so remember to keep an eye out for the dates on that. We will bring you up to date at the end of this telecast as to when that will be on.
Yeah, and Ahmad Yudhistira, who we fancied a little bit before the start of this race in these wet conditions. He's up to 6th position. He's got Aslan Shah, his Kawasaki teammate from 2017, 2018, right behind him.
Nakatomi has just stepped it up another gear now. He's the first man and the only man into the 25s, 0.6 quicker than Yuki Ito at the moment. He really is risking everything.
None of those 3 riders behind him is going to want to miss out on the podium, at least, even if Nakatomi gets away. Got a fair distance to go.
I think the happiest man to miss the podium is Brock Parks, but look how good Brock is into the hairpin there, right on the back. A little bit of a wobble as he exits.
Yeah, there's Ratapong going for his first podium in this class.
Well, Ratapong, Willerot, he's the man that's got to try everything. He's had plenty of other results, but as you say, wouldn't it be good to see him on the podium? A great result for Yamaha Thailand Racing Team if that were to happen.
Yeah, he's been steady away in the 1000s, getting used to the extra power, to the complex electronic, or the relatively complex electronics of these super bikes.
Well, he knows how to win. He won last year's 600 Supersport Championship on a Yamaha, moved up into the 1000 class this year, and it's on a plate for him now, a podium up for the grabbing.
Yeah, Brock Parks is also going to fancy it.
Well, absolutely.
We know how tough he is and how well he goes around this circuit.
Yeah, he'll certainly be calculating the points out. Is it worth going for that third place? And I'll tell you, if he... Oh, and he's gone wide. Ratapong Willerot has given that podium position away. Brock Parks says thank you very much and gets through. Ratapong now has got all the work to do. 4 laps left in this one, and he's dropped off by 2 or 3 seconds now. Ratapong Willerot makes a big mistake.
Yeah, and let's see what whether that's given Brock a bit of a boost. That's put him on to another 16 points by moving through to 3rd position, while Aslan Shah is down in 7th.
Absolutely. The laps are dwindling by now. Brock Parks has got everything to gain. 3rd position, he's been looking pretty stable out there on track. He knows these conditions, these drying conditions well. But it is Nakatomi. Last time through, Nakatomi was fastest again at 25.2 compared to 25.5 from Yuki Ito. So Nakatomi consistently the fastest man on track with 3 laps to go. Look at the slide from Nakatomi. Thank you very much. He's
having a good time.
He is absolutely on the limit. Traction control. What traction control? Let me slide that rear Dunlop way. He's certainly giving it everything he's got, and I don't mind watching it, to be fair.
No, he's enjoying it, and it's a great show for us to be watching here at Suzuka, or wherever you are around the world watching this feed.
You can just see now dry patches starting to appear around the circuit. And of course, as it dries up, we should see more sliding from these bikes. Certainly Nakatomi's not shy to get that rear wheel spinning. We don't mind watching it. Hitman RC Kushien Yamaha team he's riding for. And you've got to say they're going to be pretty happy after this race if he can hold it together. There's still 2 and a bit laps to go.
Yeah, Yudhishthira, yeah, Zakwan adrift in 5th, Yudhishthira adrift in... No, he's not adrift in 6th, he's got Aslan Shah behind him, so those two are... You can have a shot further down the field. Those two are running pretty close together, former teammates. And Apiwat has dropped away from them. He's now down in 8th position.
Well, the only other man in the 25s is, in fact, Aslan Shah. Aslan Shah with a 25.6 last time round. He is catching up to Ahmed Yudhishthira. So Aslan Shah knows how important these vital points are, especially at this time of the year. But it is, look at him. Nakatomi sideways. Has he run wide this time? No. He gathers it up.
Yeah, he's got it absolutely inch perfect in these changing conditions, you have to say. And that's exactly a half-second lead on the busted up Yuki Ito behind him.
Well, keep an eye on Nakatomi as we come through these S's. As he comes through Dunlop Corner, boy, they don't call it Dunlop Corner for any other reason than, I think, Nakatomi. This next one up here, you watch him go sideways. He did last time. Let's see if he gets on the gas nice and early from about this point on. Not as bad this time around. A little bit of a slide, but
yeah.
You can't afford to burn the tyre out, especially with Yuki Ito. He's putting in a little bit of an extra effort now too. There's half a second in this.
Yeah, especially don't want to burn them out on a drying track, which this certainly is now.
Absolutely. Well, Nakatomi's done a good job at making these wet weather tyres, that's for sure, because everybody, look how dry it is there now. It really is. You see most of the, if it does dry up any more than this, everyone will try and stay in the wet to keep those tyres cool. Not so much on the last lap, but if they had another 10 laps to go, they definitely have to stay in the wet part of the track. Right now, they're just thinking about finishing the race.
Yeah, so these front three look pretty evenly spaced at the moment, which I think means that Brock Parks is probably moving a little bit quicker. Let's see the lap times when they come round for the start of the last lap.
Well, one thing Brock is good at is just banging out lap after lap. Of course, he races in the World Endurance Championship where 24 hours a day, all you do is get out there and do those lap times and you can't make mistakes. So don't expect to see Brock Parks make any mistakes. Good to see his bike's working better for him today. Had that issue with that Yamaha yesterday, was jumping out of gear, probably due to the crash that he had. But they fixed it now, and Brock Parks is closed right up on the back of his teammate Yuki Ito.
Yeah, so maybe a little dilemma. I don't know what the team have been saying, but they want Brock Parks to win the championship, and Yuki Ito is just ahead of him as they start this last lap. Yeah. So let's see how these two interact as they go into turn one for the last time.
Nakatomi, well, Brock Parks, fastest lap of the race last time round, 25.0. Nakatomi sideways into turn one. Well, he does that every lap, so that's nothing special.
Yeah, isn't he having a good time?
But look at him now. He's got Brock Parks and Yuki Ito. Brock Parks has actually started to line up Yuki Ito. Looking up the inside there, Brock thinks second might be better than third by the look of this.
Yeah, Yuki Ito doesn't look ready to follow any kind of team orders, but Brock, I think, is going to force himself into that second position and grab an extra 4 points.
You've got to think that perhaps Yuki Ito in second position at the moment is struggling due to the injuries.
Yeah, but having fought as hard as he has, he's not going to want to give anything away. You wouldn't have expected at the start of this race 20 or even 16 points from this. He was maybe looking for a top 5 or 6 finish. I wonder if
Nakatomi's going to have a cheeky little look as he exits the hairpin just to see what sort of a gap he's got. He's got this in the bag, but he thinks that those riders in front are right on his rear wheel, so don't expect him to get to the line without getting sideways a few more times. Nakatomi has got an unassailable lead, in my opinion. The only man that can beat him is himself. And he's risking everything, but look at the lead he's got now. But it's going to be Brock Parks. Is he going to dive up the inside here? Yeah, a little twitch from Yuki Ito then. Yuki Ito's good on the front end. He really does do a good job there. Yeah, he does. Brock looking to power out of the spoon. Definitely a lot tighter on the exit there. Brock Parks gets a brilliant drive, pulls up in front of Yuki Ito and passes him down the back straight here at Suzuka. They're side by side for second and third on the podium. Which ASIAN Yamaha teammate will it be? And it is Brock Parks. He's pushed in hard. Oh, he's had a moment. He holds it. That was pretty lucky for Brock Parks. He really did want that second place. He's gone tight on the inside. Yuki Ito will not go up the inside there, but it is Nakatomi, the wild card, who comes over the line to take victory. Shinji Nakatomi, what a brilliant ride for him. Hands off the handlebar. What a ride. Brock Parks takes a double podium with second, and Yuki Ito, a well-deserved after the big crash he had on Friday, third position. Sensational performances for all those 3 podium finishers. Shinichi Nakatomi, thank you for the entertainment. What a brilliant race. Well, that was fantastic. He comes to the paddock, and that is Zakwantoni Aslan Shah, who comes across the line. Good result for him too. What a recovery, down in 10th at one point, made his way up to 6th position, salvaged something. But the winner is Shinji Nakatomi from Japan. Wild card rider this weekend. Dunlop tyre development, man. He comes to all the events, you know, and every event except this one, he's in the pits giving out advice. So, boy, my advice to you is take your bike to China. Yeah, these guys are going to be listening to him next time he comes up with a spot of advice. Yeah. That was a fantastic ride for him. He was so well in control of that Yamaha. Oh, yeah, I'm so happy for him. He's spent a couple of torrid years in the World Superbike Championship. Brock Parks there, though, takes second position, shakes his teammate's hand, and brilliant stuff for him. Yuki Ito, what a weekend he's had, too. Yeah. He's going to have a well-deserved rest after this one, isn't he? Yeah, what a hero. Well done, Yuki Ito. Look at his eyes. He's got them closed. A lot of pain there. Yeah. Yeah, he's in a lot of pain.
he never considered not riding. He just needed his ankle strapped up and enough painkillers to get him through this this 11-lap Asia Superbike race. And now he's got a fair few weeks to recover.
But the man of the moment is Shinji Nakatomi, the Hitman RC Kushin Yamaha racing team. What a job he's done here at Suzuka. That was an absolute incredible race. And I'll tell you what, he will be enjoying this cool-down lap. To win the ASB Championship in its first year as a wild card, brilliant stuff. Brian Starring, of course, did that at Tail and Bend, but now it's been done here too. Shinji Nakatomi wins this one from Brock Parks in second place. Yuki Ito takes the last spot on the podium. Ratapong Willarot, what a brilliant fourth position for him. Could have been better. Zakwan Zaidi, fifth position. He can take the points, but I think he was expecting more. Aslan Shah, good recovery to sixth position. Seventh is Ahmed Yudhisthira. Didn't have a good day yesterday, so good for him to come back. Abiwath Wongthananon, who started on the front row of the grid, wanted better than that. Katsuma Tsuda in ninth. It's Chai Witchett, a good result for him in 10th. Brian Starring in 11th. Bastian Mackles, the Belgian rider, in 12th. 13th is TJ Alberto. 14th, Koji Teramoto. 15th, Jonathan Serapika. And of course, 16th is Audi Rumston Butterov on the BMW S1000R. Of course, he didn't finish the race. 11 laps out, he crashed early on. But what a race it was here at Suzuka. And absolutely incredible stuff to see those guys racing in those conditions.
Yeah, and the conditions changed a lot. Look at the track now, and this shot that we've got on the screen, Steve, compared to the shot at the start of the race, completely different. That track's really dry.
Yeah, another half an hour, and the riders would have started on slick tyres. Whether they want to go and have another race later on this afternoon, I don't think so, because they will have used every ounce of energy they've got. But there's Brock Parks, good weekend for him, and what a race for this man. Nakatomi, how happy is he?
Yeah, he certainly should be. That was a wonderful ride from him right from the start. I think he knew he could do it right from the first couple of corners.
Well, knowing you can do it and actually doing it, two different things. But great weekend for Brock Parks. You can see he's pretty happy with that. And having a couple of chats, probably could have pushed a little bit more if he really had to, but those points, all important in the championship. 45-point haul for Brock Parks this weekend. Very, very important.
And good stuff for Yamaha Racing Team ASEAN. Of course, they picked up another 36 points from, sorry, not 36 points, 20 points for Brock Parks' finish. But that's a very good result for them this weekend.
And what about Yuki Ito getting on the podium as well? I mean, boy, how much pain must he be in? Actually, I want to see him get on the podium. He's been walking to his bike on crutches. Will he be able to get on the podium, or do you think they're going to have to carry him up there?
Well, they may do. Let's see. Let's see how much the adrenaline will keep the pain at bay. There you go, family celebration, very well deserved.
Great job
well
by
done,
Nakatomi.
Dad.
Great job by Nakatomi. And we just saw Yuki Ito in the background there on his crutches. And you can see in there, how much pain is he in, eh? What a tough youngster.
Isn't he? Yeah, heart's out.
Almost,
Yuki Ito.
almost buckled over in pain.
Lion-hearted rider that he is.
Yep.
Seen it many times before. Never gives up.
Takes that podium there. Great result for him.
Yeah, and way beyond expectation.
Yeah, absolutely, of course, raced in the 600 class last year, moved up to this championship. And he sits, well, until this race, he was 5th in the championship, and I'm sure he's going to jump up a little bit. He did have a podium in round 1. A couple of podiums he's had throughout the time, but the last couple of races, 3 races in a row, he's been off the podium. So to get a second, this is his best result of the year so far.
Yeah, and I think as we get to the more familiar tracks for the Asian riders, when we go back to Sepang, when we go back to Chang International, we'll see Yuki Ito pulling out some more good performances.
Right, let's head down to Weileng.
Down here at Park Ferme with the 3rd place finisher Yuki Ito. Yuki, you are riding today, this entire weekend with a broken ankle, but you have shown extraordinary strength. So share with us, how was the race?
Yeah. Anyway, my leg is pain now. So because Friday practice I crashed in the pre-practice too. So, but anyway, I try to push every session. So now finally I got the podium. I'm so happy. Thank you for my team. So and the family. Thank you so all.
Thank you so much, Yuki, and we wish you a very speedy recovery ahead of the next round. And coming in second place today is Ito's teammate, Brock Parks. Brock, wet conditions, but it didn't seem to faze you too much because you actually came from behind and picked up second place today.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was tough conditions at first. You know, we had to change the bike from yesterday because of a problem with something with the shifting, and so we had to change the gearing, and it was a lot different for me. I wasn't used to these gears and this much RPM, but in the end it was a great result. Congratulations to Nakatomi and my teammate, because you know we are like the three Yamahas under the same roof. So yeah, just like to say a big thank you to Yamaha, and tonight we'll drink some beers at the party. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Brox. And today's race one winner for the ASB1000 cc class, Shinichi Nakatomi. So Nakatomi, congratulations coming in here as a wildcard. I know a lot of the riders were a little worried, but you didn't seem to be affected by the wet conditions. Are you very used to using the Dunlop wet tire?
Rain tire, me not very well, because every time tire test, but prototype every time, not standard. I'm happy today getting win, because until today morning, so bad setting. Yesterday cannot pushing, but today 100%. Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Nakatomi. Congratulations, and we'll see you on the podium.
Well, Shinji Nakatomi, Mr. 100%. Well, he was certainly 100% today, wasn't he? Brock Parks, we'll know where he'll be tonight. Yuki Ito, boy, what a brave heart he is. But here was what happened in the race. It was Zakwin Zaidi from pole position who seemed to jump off the line quite smartly, and he got himself into that turn one. Of course, there was a brace of Yamahas behind him, and it looks like Aslan Shah was there too, so he must have made a mistake at some point. But then it wasn't long before, of course, they started to catch him. Something was happening to the Honda man. He just didn't seem to have the pace. Nakatomi went past. It was Ratapong Willarot that was there too. Number 23, Brock Parks, up there at the start. Yuki Ito, a long way back and out of the equation at this point. We thought there was no way he could be up there.
Yeah, at this point, it was a good race for Ratapong Willarot, but as we see, Shinichi Nakatomi made his way through into the lead.
And then, of course, it was the number 76, Yuki Ito, who started to make his presence felt. He got past Brock, he got past Ratapong, and then he also got past the leader, number 85, Nakatomi. And at that point, we thought that he was gone. But Nakatomi thought, you know what? I'm so close, I'm going to have a proper go. And he did. He nipped up the inside through the Dunlop corner with a little bit of a slide and pulled away from the field. And then the battle was on between the two teammates. The two Yamaha Racing Team ASEAN riders were battling left and right. Brock Parks couldn't find a way through, but then he got a brilliant drive onto the back straight here, and he had to get down and tucked into that slipstream with the team saying, take it easy, guys. And watch this moment here. Doesn't get much closer than that. That's over 200 k's an hour. That was on the final lap. Shinji Nakatomi came over the line, pumped his fist for victory with the team, Yamaha ASEAN team, right behind. Good for their championship too. And look at that, celebrations start early here. Let's head down to Wei Ling on the podium. Wei Ling's nearly ready on the podium, but as you can see, the riders, you know what they're doing. I reckon they're getting poor old
さて
Yuki
表彰
Ito.
式がこの後行われますが、今
Yeah, I think you're right, Steve.
So poor old Yuki Ito is making his way up there. But it won't
Arriving
be-
on a forklift, possibly.
Yeah, maybe. It's definitely going to be difficult to get him up there. But what an Asia Road Racing Championship we've had so far this weekend. We've sort of pretty much had a little bit of everything, but there's certainly been a lot of excitement. So that is for sure.
Yeah, for me, Steve, as a first-timer here, I've been absolutely blown away by what I've seen of the circuit and, of course, the racing that the circuit has had to that has put on for us. It always seems that Suzuka plays a major part in the drama.
Certainly does, especially of the championship. And boy, what a weekend we've had. There's been a lot of drama unfolding in front of our eyes. A lot of things happening that we never thought we'd see, and things that should have happened that didn't. But anyway, Suzuka 2019 for the Asia Road Racing Championship is done. Right, let's head down to the podium.
We begin the podium ceremony for the ASB1000cc Race 2. Coming in third place today, Yuki Ito from Yamaha Racing Team ASEAN. In second place today, Brock Parks from Yamaha Racing Team ASEAN. And today's ASB1000 Race 2 winner, Shinichi Nakatomi from Hitman RC Koshin Yamaha. We also like to invite a representative from Hitman RC Koshin Yamaha to join the riders on the podium. We will now stand for the national anthem of Japan. We'd now like to invite Mr. Roichi Fujioka, the General Manager of Suzuka Circuit Motorsports Division, to present the riders with their trophies. Coming in third place today from Japan, Yuki Ito. Second place today from Australia, Brock Parks. Today's ASB1000 Race 2 winner from Japan, Shinichi Nakatomi. And the best team award today goes to Hitman RC Koshin Yamaha. I have a group photography session.
Well, there you have it, the podium. What a fantastic result for those guys. And Nakatomi couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Good to see him win that one. Brock Parks leads with 150 points. That is a nice, neat number. Aslan Shah, 123 points in second position. Third is Zakwan Zaidi on 115 points. Abiwath Wongthananon in 97 points, just under 100 there. Yuki Ito, good recovery, 95 points for him in fifth. Sixth is Brian Starring, of course, for Kawasaki Thailand Racing Team. 56, number 56 on 7 is Ratapong Willarot. Great showing from him today. Ahmed Yudhistra is in 8th on 57 points for the Victor Racing team, and a good weekend for him. Probably could have been a little bit better. As we turn the page and see 9th is TJ Alberto. Good to see the Ducatis breaking into the top 10, just overtaking Thitipong Warracorn there, who hopefully will be coming back very soon to the championship. 11th is Farid Badrul Hisham. 12th, Sinchi Nakatomi with a beautiful 32 points in victory for him today. Kazuma Tsuda in 13th. Chai Witchett in 14th. Jonathan Serapika, who didn't finish today's race, 15th. 16th, Bastian Mackles of the ZX Ninja from Belgium. 17th is Ali Adrisan Putra, and 18th is Koji Teramoto, getting a couple of points on his BMW 1000 RR at home in Japan. So a great weekend here in Suzuka. And I don't know about you, Barry, but we have had an absolute cracker here at round 4. We've had everything thrown at us. But if you want more of the action, do not forget, we've still got 3 rounds of the championship left. And round 5 will be coming to you from Zhuhai International Circuit on the 9th of August to 11th of August. We've been there quite a few years ago. We're making a comeback. And boy, I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to get there. Sepang is after that. And then we finish round 7 at the Chang International Circuit, 29th of November to the 1st of December. That proves to be a firecracker, as every race is. Well, hope you've enjoyed the coverage of all of the races here today. Thank you very much, and we will see you in Zhuhai.